Howdy folks, welcome back to Reading Held Hostage. My name's Blue and I love to read.
My name's Justin and I freaking hate that shit.
Little hand movement and head movement you did with that.
Yeah.
So Justin, I think today's gonna finish up our Eclipse.
Knock on wood.
I think it will. Because it gets kind of boring and gross. I will say there is another chapter where Jacob consensually, non-consensually kisses Bella, but I'll pre-warn ahead of the time, obviously, because it's ick.
To be fair, the grosser it gets, usually the more time we take.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I didn't write as many notes because I was getting very mad.
Yeah.
And I really want to start Breaking Dawn because I'm so embarrassed, but I really, really liked Breaking Dawn.
Also, you want to tell the people at home that you've finished Breaking Dawn?
Yeah, I finished Breaking Dawn, and I'm actually reading a new series that we're not going to do a podcast about called Red Rising that I think everybody should listen to.
Yeah, it's actually a good book.
Yeah, actually, Justin, listened to the
it's
very
lit.
first one.
It's fucking lit.
And then we keep having bad luck on the second one, so I think we'll be okay here soon. But Justin, I wanted to tell you a quick story, because you know how I'm like very interested in height, and I talk about height a lot.
Yeah.
Like in our general lives, and including this podcast. I mentioned
your like celebrity height list you got.
Yeah, and I mentioned I just think it's very fascinating. Like the social stuff with it, the genetic stuff with it. Height is so crazy. So I'm 5'8", and I was talking with my sister who's 5'9". The little bitches are bigger than me, height-wise. Both my little sisters.
Both of them are.
Little bastards.
Tall.
Yeah, we're pretty good. We're tall for people who are women, especially.
Yeah.
And my grandmother is not. My paternal grandmother is very tiny. She's Danny DeVito height, Alice height, about 4'10", 4'9". She's small.
Your maternal grandma was not that tall either.
She shrunk a lot, but my grandmother, my paternal grandmother started out small.
Yeah, but all your aunts are tall.
Yeah, so my family's generally tall. So I was talking with my sister about height, and my grandmother was there, and we were talking. I was like, isn't it crazy that Jacob's so big? And I was talking about Alice. I was like, she's so tiny. And then Faith turns to my grandmother and goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, she was like... She had said something bad in front of my grandma because I had mentioned that Alice was tiny.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think she knows. Like,
yeah,
it's okay
she's been
to be
living
small
for a long time.
Yeah, she is. It just is a part. And I just thought it was so funny that my sister thought that she had to apologize to my tiny grandmother because I was talking about tiny people.
Little small.
I just thought that was funny. Are you ready to hippity hop into the discussion this time round? I want you to tell me what happened last time.
I was about to ask you what happened last time because I fucking don't remember at all.
No, you tell me what happened. That's how it goes, is you tell me what you remember.
Oh, that's how the podcast works?
Yeah, tell me what happened. Or happened. I tell you what happened.
Oh, yeah. So, they just caught the Velociraptor. And
babe,
Jacob and the Velociraptor really hit it off. And now they were kissing. The Velociraptor and him were kissing last book.
Edward the Velociraptor because he's fast?
What?
No. So they're gearing up for the battle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're up in the mountains now.
That's close.
No, not at all, actually.
Really?
Yeah, like really 100% not at all.
I'm pretty sure there's a Velociraptor somewhere in these books.
So, last book, they're prepping for the battle.
Yeah.
And
they're putting on their dog armor.
Yeah. And Jacob took Bella up to the mountain.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be really cold.
Burr.
And so we start chapter 22 with her basically freezing to death. Edward's really scared she'll die because she's so cold. She's shivering. She's in her full clothes inside a sleeping bag. And Edward's like as far away from her as possible because he's freezing.
Yeah, they didn't think to make a fire or bring a little heater.
No. Where would they plug the heater in?
They have propane heaters.
I'm not paying for that.
Fuck.
That was funny.
So I hate to read.
So
And this is the end of the podcast.
Jacob's outside the tent, and he's in his wolf form, and he's throwing a fit. He's whining.
Oh no.
And him and Edward are communicating while she's freezing with his like head talk. And Jacob switches to human and comes in the tent and gets in the sleeping bag.
With his dick out?
No, he's got pants on.
Okay.
So Jacob gets into her sleeping bag, which makes Bella instantly more warm because, again, he runs 108 degrees Fahrenheit.
And instantly more, I don't know, concern for her safety.
She's too busy being cold. I think if you were cold, like cold is such an scary thing to be if you're actually that cold, you know?
Yeah.
So Jacob's warming her up. He's antagonizing Edward because he knows that Edward can read his thoughts. So like Edward's like, can you please keep those to yourself?
He's like, I bonger right now.
Yeah, pretty much things like that. They never say that, but she starts to warm up and she ends up getting sleepy. And out of nowhere, she's like, Jacob, why is your fur so much longer than everyone? He's like, are you dumb? It's because my actual hair is longer. She's like, why do you do that? And he's like, well, I guess because you like my hair longer.
Does she, though? I don't think she said.
No, she does. It's not been totally important.
Yeah.
But she ends up fading into that like half sleep, not sleep section of the brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she can like hear everything that Edward and Jacob are talking about.
Fun fact, though. You go to sleep easier if you're cold.
Yeah, how's that?
It's just, like, you know how some animals hibernate?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a leftover thing from that. Okay, so for the people at home, our stinky little baby just jumped up on Blue's lap and punched her microphone into her mouth.
Ugh, okay, so hopefully he'll stop. Edward's furious. He's like, can you please attempt to control your thoughts? But Jacob's like, no. Because he's an asshole 16-year-old.
Suck it.
Yeah, literally, he's like... he taunt Jacob...
In bed with your girlfriend, dog.
Fiance at this point.
Oh.
But Jacob doesn't know that. Jacob ends up taunting Edward, like out loud. I don't know why. Probably just because it's like what he's used to and plot.
Yeah, impress Bella.
Yeah. He's like, just so you know, she could still change her mind. And they just don't talk for a bit. And then...
That is true.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think Edward is like also, 100% on that.
Yeah. Also, change her mind to you? Her assaulter?
We have to be low about that.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to talk about that too much.
Yeah.
Because it makes us both icky.
It does.
But yes, you're correct. And then Jacob's like, can I ask you some questions? And Edward's like, yeah. And he's like, how will I know you're honest? And he's like, why would I, like, I'll be honest. Why the fuck would I lie?
I don't care about you enough to lie.
I literally don't give a shit about you. So they talk about what it was like when Edward thought Bella was dead. And Edward's like, there were 4 possibilities. And I always knew one of these 4 would happen when I fell in love with Bella. 1, she didn't feel the same way about me, which would have been the best because then she would have been safe and she wouldn't want to be a vampire. Mm-hmm. 2, I would stay with her for her foreseeable human life and then I would kill myself, which is like dramatic, but okay.
Yeah.
3, I would leave her, which I did, and that was a terrible mistake, as we all know. Which, by the way, October represents National Bella Depression Awareness Month.
Really?
No.
I was like, what the... There's so many fucking made-up holidays, though. Like, you know, Christmas? What the fuck is that?
Show me one Christmas.
Show me a Christmas.
And I fucking dare you. And then 4, which is the option Bella has chosen, is to have her change into a vampire. Then Jacob's kind of like begging. He's like, please just give me like 1 year to convince her to love me and stay with me. Like, I can give her kids and she can be human.
And Bella's like, hey, fuck off.
She's still asleep. But Edward stands up. He's like, yeah, I think that's what would be best for her, but I can't make her do anything.
Yeah.
I am here for her as long as that is what she wants. And she has proven to me that that is what she wants.
Yeah.
Which, so far, probably the most healthy thing that has been said. You know, like...
Out of Edward's mouth, especially.
Yeah, like, I'll be here for her until she tells me that she no longer wants me. So then Edward...
And then I will die.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Edward's like, hey, what's the story of the third wife? And Jacob, like, tells her. Do you remember the story of the third wife?
The one who sacrificed herself for the vampire to not kill
the wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only cool stuff is...
Yeah, literally. Which reminds me... Never mind.
We didn't do our Native American awareness.
We haven't been doing that for this book.
Okay.
But we do have it in the notes.
Okay. So if you want to know more...
About the Quileute
talked
tribe.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think every podcast since the second book.
It was all of New Moon.
Okay, yeah. So any New Moon episode, if you want to like hear us say more, but everything's in the description and linked on Spotify at least. I hope they work elsewhere, but
we don't know what Apple Podcast looks like.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like, it's super popular. I literally cannot wrap my head around it as somebody who's been using Spotify for my whole life.
We've never logged into Apple Podcast as a listener.
Yeah, so I hope it works. The podcasts are showing up.
Yeah.
So okay.
I mean, someone reviewed us on there. It has to be posting.
Thank you. Mwah.
Mwah.
Edward gets mad at Jacob about that third wife story because he's like, who do you think Bella would reminisce with? And I think that's funny because I'm like, Jacob didn't fucking tell her the story.
Yeah.
She was there at the Quileute tribe listening to their stories.
Yeah. She was like in the background of that.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't even the one they were telling the stories to.
She was just somebody there.
Like they were telling the pack.
Yeah.
Not her.
New members of the pack. Yeah. So I think that's funny. At the end of the conversation, they decide the truce that they have ends at first light. And Bella falls asleep to Edward humming like extra loud, trying not to listen to Jacob's shitty thoughts. And then we're in chapter 23, where she wakes up to Jacob sleeping next to her. Again, Jacob is 6'7", as I've mentioned extensively.
Yeah.
Bella is 5'4", which is about the average human woman height.
Yep.
Human uterus owner, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who have that height difference in their relationship, props to you, because she's fucking stuck.
Staggering.
Yeah, she's like stuck under Jacob.
Yeah.
And she like can't get out, but she can see that Edward's in emotional pain, so she tries to get out. She's like trapped. She's like, Edward, I can't get out. Can you help me? And then so like he's basically like flips Jacob over and scares the shit out of him.
So Blue and I'm on a little bit of a weight loss journey. Blue's on more of
I had a joke for this.
Endurance.
Wait, we're on a fitness journey, and then you say fitness journey.
A fitness journey.
Fitting this dick in your mouth.
Okay. So we're on a little bit of fitness journey. I need to lose a little bit of weight, getting that sleep apnea. But we should do the flop test before I lose weight.
What's that? If I can get you off?
Yeah, if I lay on you like I passed out or something.
You better not pass out. I hate if you pass out and the EMTs come and they're like, "What's he got?" I'm like, "He's on the ground."
I put it in my phone.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. I bet I could though, because I've got all that apocalypse prep stuff. Yeah. I feel like I'm at least have the brain knowledge. At the end of this podcast,
we'll set up the microphones to catch that experience.
No, absolutely not. That is a personal experience. I'm gonna struggle.
I can get through that.
Okay. Bella tries to deal with the two of them being like little stinky bitch boys, and Jacob ends up just leaving.
Every day in my life, am I right?
Every day.
Owning cats. That's what owning cats is.
What? Oh, but yeah, being a stinky little bitch boy. She requests that he stay, but he won't. And he doesn't want Seth to go in his place to have all the fun without him and the taking down of these vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So Edward and Bella are in the tent talking alone, and the fight starts in about an hour, and then Bella, they do this like sappy ass love shit, which I'm so sick of.
Also, what happens if like 5 vampires show up?
They're newborns though, so Edward and Seth could probably deal with them.
Oh, Edward's staying? I thought he was going.
No, Edward's staying. Bella's like, please, remember? Okay. And then she manipulated him and was like, remember that time you left me? Yeah, don't do it again. That's pretty much what happened.
Girl boss gatekeep.
Yeah, gaslight. Bella asks...
I never put those in the right
No,
order.
You don't. It's almost like you're dyslexic. Bella asks...
Oh, Big Bird.
Oh my god, you just interrupted
Big Bird for
me!
the big baby. No, you were trying to go past you, Big Burpin.
Bella asks about what his 10 best nights are, and they talk for a while, but eventually it comes down to Edward saying the best night of his life, his 105 years, 6 years at this point, was the night she said yes to marrying him.
Gay.
And
that is heterosexual, and I do not like it.
Before Bella and him can talk about it too much, there's an ear-splitting howl of pain, and Bella knows that Jacob had heard that she was going to marry Edward. Bella realizes that Edward knew Jacob was close and that he wanted to hurt him, but Bella's not mad at Edward or Jacob. She's mad at herself because she's hurting Jacob, and every time she does something, she's hurting him.
What is this fucking book, dude? Like, who...
It gets even worse.
Who realistically would give a shit about Jacob at this point? After what he's done...
I would not.
And what he said, even.
His words, his just absolute disdain for Edward...
Yeah, I totally get being like, I think your fucking boyfriend sucks.
But then you only get like once.
Yeah.
You only get like one serious time to say it, and then you pretend to like them if you want to maintain friendships with that person.
Yeah. I mean, you could say it every once in a while, but like, you can't just like, that can't be your topic of discussion. Mm-mm. Like, that would get so fucking annoying.
And it's just rude. Plain and simple, it's rude.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I've had people in my life where I'm like, wow, I really, really don't like that partner you're with right now.
Yeah.
And I'll say things, I'll be like, wow, it was kind of weird that they did this. Like, what do you think? But like, Jacob is literally constantly saying,
I hate Edward. I hate Edward.
Not only
you shouldn't be with Edward. You should be with me. Let me have your children.
And opposite.
Whatever.
You have my children. It's Mormon. It would be very specific about that. But every choice Bella makes for herself hurts Edward.
Yes.
Or hurts Jacob.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the choices I make are my personal choices.
Yeah.
Like, I get, like, if I was moving away, that would hurt our parents. You know? Yeah. Like, it'd be, like, sad, but it wouldn't, like, hurt them, and they would, like, never forgive us.
Yeah.
Because we have generally healthy parents.
Yes. Hey, parents. Thanks for not being the worst.
Our demographic is 25 to 28 right now.
No, our parents.
Oh, yeah, our parents.
Yeah, our parents.
Okay, yeah, they're pretty good. So that just pisses me off because the fact that this choice for, I don't know, it just really upsets me.
Yeah. And
I kind of agree with Edward for doing this, like secretly letting Jacob know, because she never would have let.
No, never.
Him know.
And I don't give a shit about Jacob's feelings, but it would have hurt him more.
And I want to take this time to remind us that he's only 17.
God damn, dude.
He's literally a baby. He doesn't know shit.
Like, when you're 17, why would you even conceptualize marriage? Mm-mm. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we were together when we were 17. When you were 17, what, for 4 years?
I wasn't 17 for 4 years.
No.
We had been together at that point for 4 years already, yes.
And, like, that's a normal adult amount of time to propose or be married already.
But you have to, like, recognize your life and stuff. And if you make the choice to get married young, that's your choice. Hopefully you've seen all the options. It's usually the maturity of the choice. But, like, Jacob is not mature, plain and simple.
No.
And he's just such a bitch baby,
His
honestly.
actions prove it time after time that he's not mature enough to be making a life-changing decision like this.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep going because
Bella also, but...
Yeah. But the point of the story for Bella is that she's, like, more mature and older for her age.
Yeah.
But she's still just 18.
Yeah.
So Edward offers to go get Jacob for her and bring him back.
Energy, sorry.
What?
Big grooming energy.
Oh
no.
The computer went away.
Oh no.
Come back.
Computer.
Okay, there she is.
Baby, come back.
She ends up having a mental breakdown about how bad she's hurting Jake, but I wrote in my notes that
Fuck him off.
I refuse to go repeat it because it's not her fault that she is in love with Edward.
Nope.
So Jacob ends up coming back and Edward gives them some time. So I'm going to say trigger warning here at this point for the other consensual, non-consensual kiss. Hop back in about 7 minutes.
I'm setting a timer.
Okay.
We will be done talking about this in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm setting a timer on my...
On your Fitbit?
On my Fitbit,
we got Fitbits.
baby. We got Fitbits.
So Jacob.
Wait, I didn't set up the timer.
Okay. Well, it's not happening right off the bat. I just wanted to give people time to get away. If they
right now.
Okay. Jacob gives her the cold shoulder, and Bella says she's sorry. She's a rotten person. She should never have hurt in that way, and she feels like she'll stay far away from him and never see him again.
I didn't think you could talk that fast, really. Like, smoothly? You did that. You killed that.
He gives her the cold shoulder. Bella says she's sorry, and she shouldn't have hurt him that way, and that she'll stay far away from him forever and never see him again, which honestly is probably what's best for this relationship at this point.
Also, if you are listening at over ×1 speed, let us know how fucking crazy that sounded. Also, slow down. We don't make enough of these.
True. Jacob tells Bella that her apology sucked, and he would rather stay and have her make it up to him. So she says that it's not fair for her to ask him to do anything when they want different things, which is true.
Yeah.
And so I wrote here in asterisks, the only issue I have with Bella and Jacob's relationship is that Bella knows that Jacob's in love with her, but refuses to cut off the relationship because she feels connected to him. However,
Jacob, or at least put fucking boundaries in.
Yeah, and I wrote, however, Jacob is also a big kid and can go somewhere else on his own because he knows she's not going to ever be in love with him, but he whines that she has to be in love with him because he thinks that.
Because he's so hunky.
Yeah. So, again, double trigger warning. Here's where it's going to happen. So...
We got 5 minutes.
Perfect.
5:30.
So Jacob then threatens to go off and fight and pretty much says that he is going to be okay with him dying, with the possibility of him dying to this, like no matter what, and that he's going to go do this. He's not really going to give any reasonable like thought to his safety. And he's like, why would it matter to you? Because she loves you as a friend and a family member. And
I mean, didn't they have like time growing up together?
Yeah, they saw each other every summer.
Yeah. Like, it's not like you like don't know this person, like you just moved up here and just met this person and they fell in love with you.
Yeah, and then you guys, I mean, they did spend like 4 straight months together being friends. Yeah. Jacob wanting it to be more than friends, but her being pretty clear.
Yeah.
So
it's his fault for ignoring those boundaries.
Mm-hmm. And her fault for not continuously resetting them.
Well, it shouldn't be her fault. It shouldn't be her fault that she has to reset these boundaries.
But also, I think the point is this relationship is not healthy for either of them, and it's one of theirs responsibility to stop it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would argue it's Bella, as she's the one who believes she's mature enough. Oh. You motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
Who believes she's mature enough to turn into a vampire and get married at this point.
Yeah.
So, because Jacob basically is threatening to lose his life, whether it be by his own hand or somebody else's, his mortality is not important to him, she decides to ask him to kiss her. So basically he forces her to do this, you know what I mean? Like he's manipulating her for this. So just let me get through this, okay? They kiss, I didn't write too much, and it's very gross and it's very uncomfortable for the first bit because she is doing that same type of thing where she's stone cold, she's feeling like she's being assaulted again. But then she gives into it and realizes she's enjoying it. Stop. I know. She realizes that she actually is in love with Jacob in more than a friend way. And that if Edward had never come around, she would have ended up with him and had a few little kids. And she has this vision of their life together. But she does not love him more than she loves Edward. And this kiss ends up going on for about 4 pages. And after this nasty kiss, Jacob breaks his promise that he just said he wouldn't go fight. And he still goes to fight, leaving her there crying.
What a dickhole. What a little urethra boy.
Like, I mean, there are actual people who are like, if you don't give me the affection and love I think I deserve, I will end my own life. Or... It's
a horrible manipulation. It's disgusting that people actually do it. And I know it happens.
And it's happening in this book.
Yes.
And this is the I think at this point,
again,
I'm adamantly team Edward now.
Again, there's merit to having this conversation. And there's definitely merit to having this conversation with children because there are suicide rates in children. Yeah. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate thing that happens. Also, what's the number?
988 is the National Suicide Hotline.
it's an unfortunate fucking thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good conversation to have. Except when you do everything fucking wrong about the conversation.
Yeah. Recognizing that relationships like this do exist and happen and are bad are okay, but this...
And then showing that this works.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to manipulate someone...
She was actually in love with him.
Yeah, you can pretend... You can say you're going to kill yourself.
This whole time, she did actually love him. Him pestering her, him assaulting her, all that did work, and she did love him.
Yeah. So you're just... Oh my God.
You're working the feedback loop.
Yeah.
People are going to think that's okay. I mean, obviously not a lot of... This book wasn't targeted towards young boys or teen boys, but it was targeted towards teen girls.
Yeah, which is somehow, like, feels worse.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if this happens to you, it's okay and good.
It's like when you're on the playground and a little boy hurts you, and they're like, that's how boys show their affection.
No,
I'm sorry. I was mean on the playground. That's not how I showed affection. I was an asshole.
Yeah.
And nobody stopped me because they were like, that's how kids play.
Yeah.
No. So it just makes me like kind of want to throw up.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
And it's just like so upsetting too because like if you're Edward in this, is that our time?
No.
How much more do we have?
40 seconds.
Okay. So if you're Edward or Bella in this scenario, the fact that Bella hates herself because she's hurting Edward or Jacob for literally making a choice on her own behalf for her own happiness.
Yeah.
No.
You don't get to yuck someone's yums because it's not what you want.
No. Pretty much just about almost everything. But, yeah. I mean, there's a few where I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't fucking hurt anybody or...
Yeah.
Like...
But Jacob's like, but I'm the one being hurt. And it's like, and again, who cares about you?
Yeah. Okay, that's our time.
All right, we're done. Chapter 24.
Okay, wait, let's give a time for people to find this if they skipped forward.
Okay, we're going to do this, and you're going to put a time in, because we don't have the time accurate right now.
No, I was just saying we give people, like, hey, we're done. We're done.
Okay. Yeah, we are done.
We're done. We're done talking about it.
Unless it's pertinent to the book.
Yep. And we'll try to keep it to a sentence or two and move on. And
I just want to read Hunger Games.
Yeah. Is there any of this in Hunger Games?
Not that I recall. I've listened to it within the past year.
I know there's like other fucked up like torture. It's
more like gore and blood and emotional. Like
Which I feel like is so much better.
Yeah, me too. I think it's because of the generation we live in.
Like, oh my God.
I'd way rather remember, and this is one of the, so Hunger Games spoiler, I guess, when they're in the arena, one of the things I vividly remember reading is when Glimmer gets stung by the Tracker Jackers.
Yeah.
And Katniss has to pull her bow and arrows off of her. Glimmer is so swollen and expanded that Katniss has to use a rock to cut her swollen fingers off to get the bow back.
Oh my God.
But it's not it's not like romantically or emotionally.
My thing with like rating systems in general, at least in the US, I don't know how other countries do it. But I feel like it should be from least bad to like most bad. Consensual, sexual, romantic, physical.
That's least bad?
Least bad.
Okay.
Violence right above that.
Yeah.
And then unconsensual way up.
Yeah. That was your sentence or two.
What?
That was your sentence or two.
Yeah. I feel like it's switched.
Yeah. Well, you never read these books as a kid, especially. I think for you...
But also there's no, like, warning or rating system for books at all.
Mm-mm.
Like,
No.
I definitely don't think books should be censored at all. Like, I don't think any sort of media should be censored from what the message is.
No, but you should be a certain age. Like, my dad gave me A Clockwork Orange when I was 14, and I've talked to him about that since I was like, dude, you're fucking insane. I had to wait till I was 18 to read that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely an age. And with this, Twilight in particular, it's such a weird little middle ground, I think.
And it feels bad to me, too, because I know rating systems make it so people change art to make
to fit
money.
That rating system. But she already did change, like, things to make it, like, the fucking end of Breaking Dawn gets so good. I'm like, God, I wish this would go forever. And then it's just like, and it's done because it's a romanticized book about the romance. It's not really about the fact that they're vampires. It's the fact that Bella's in love with Edward and Jacob's in love with Bella.
Yeah.
And apparently now we know that Bella's also secretly in love with Jacob. So we're going to keep going.
All right.
You prepared?
Yep.
Chapter 24, she's laying in the tent waiting for Edward to come around and be mad at her. But when she comes around, when he comes around and hears Seth's thoughts. Am I saying?
Seth's thoughts.
Thoughts. What did Seth's thoughts?
You just lisped it up.
I just went right through it?
Yeah.
So he already knows what Jacob had done and what she had done. And he's not mad. And Edward points out that Jacob tricked her into kissing him and that she doesn't, she shouldn't feel mad.
We're not talking about it anymore.
No,
we're not talking about it more.
But
I was about to go on to another rant, and we're not talking about it anymore.
Because Edward is like, it's okay. Jacob tricked you. And then she's like, I don't feel mad at Jacob for tricking me. We're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
She wonders why he's not getting mad at her. And I think this is very mature of Edward. Mm-hmm. And his response is that, she is only human. And that he would rather Bella loved Jacob and live in a human life, so he would have preferred that to have worked out.
Yeah. He's just one of those, nihilist.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, oh, my life is woe, and I don't want you to be a part of it type thing. That's the only reason he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's because he doesn't want her to be part of his life. Deep down,
for her own, air quotes, for her own protection. Yeah. She is just asking Edward to hate her, but he's understanding. But the fight is getting closer, and Bella tries to seduce Edward into wanting her into a sexual way because she wants him to fight back and prove himself. And she gets mad at him for not, but he tells her that he really will attempt to do that after they're married, but he would prefer not to have their first sexual attempts in reach of Jacob, or in reaction to Jacob, which is, again, pretty mature for him.
Yep. Well, he is 100 and something years old.
106, yeah. But he has the brain of a 17-year-old. Because the thing is, Stephanie Meyer says that vampires don't create anything new. And they don't change. So, as somebody who knows a little bit about the body, you have to build synapses, your cells regenerate. Yeah. Which means they don't have this.
But that would also mean that they can't learn anything.
Yeah, theoretically, that means they can't learn anything.
Literally anything.
Yeah, literally one single thing. They can't form memories either.
Yeah.
So, I think we're just going to go with whatever Steph has written down.
Our good friend Steph.
Yeah. So the fight is there. Seth is pacing, but he says nothing's wrong. He's just mad that he has to stay with them instead of going to the fight. Mm. But Edward's giving her the play-by-play through Seth's mind, and then it stops all of a sudden because something's wrong. Seth and Edward start working together, and Edward moves her faster than ever and pushes her back into a cliff face and gets in a protective stance because Victoria's there and she's not alone. Victoria comes around with a regular but beautiful blonde boy, and a few feet behind him is Victoria with her orange hair looking like a flame, and she's ready to kill Bella.
No, little German boy, don't become a vampire.
Before any battles begin, Edward starts reading the mind of the blonde boy, and his name is Riley, and Edward's like, Victoria doesn't love you, she's just using you, and doing this, and he's doing pretty good at this. This is fucking funny, because as he's doing this, the blonde boy's getting really what the fuck? But then Victoria starts talking, and Bella's really fucking surprised by her voice. She's like, this is a babyish voice. She's got a soprano tinkling. A baby voice is how she describes her.
Little blonde boy, you love me.
So Bella is too confused by her voice when Seth ends up attacking Riley and ripping little parts off of his body, which I love because this woman has been trying to kill her for a year and a half.
And she got a little voice.
Yeah.
Bella, I want to kill you when I get the chance.
Bella, I'm gonna get you. What are you gonna... And Bella's just like, what the fuck?
I won't hesitate, bitch.
I won't hesitate, bitch. So Edward and Victoria are dance fighting while Seth and Riley fight.
Oh, they're doing, what is it?
Krav Maga?
No, not Krav Maga. It was in the episode of Bob's Burger.
I don't know. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
No, it's...
Brazilian dance fighting.
I can't think of it.
Okay.
It's the it has a really cool history. It was made by slaves in the United States because they weren't allowed to practice fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So they danced in a way or fought in a way that was dance.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Okay. Cool.
If someone knows it, put in
a comment.
Yeah, and have a field day with it. It's really cool to look into.
Victoria can tell that stuff is not on her side and ends up like ready to go, but Edward taunts her and it's like, when are you going to get another chance like this? James didn't love you. And that pisses her off. But then Seth and Edward get a little close and Victoria's like, yeah, Seth will attack Edward. But then he's like, no, Victoria, this is not the same type of thing that you and James tracked down in Siberia, which is interesting.
Wait, what?
So she has seen something like a werewolf before. And she speaks.
Oh my god, is the Yeti a like different werewolf?
There are werewolves in Siberia.
But like how cool would it be if like the Bigfoot thing was just
just a massive horse-looking werewolf?
Was just like a different type of werewolf.
That would be fun.
Because like it could be that like other werewolves are like ape-shaped or whatever. Because, like, it just happened to be that this guy stumbled upon a wolf that helped him out.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't have to be a wolf.
Mm-hmm. We learn a little bit more about this in the next book.
I'm just saying, it'd be cool if Yeti...
If that was the background.
Yeah, if Steph had good ideas, that'd be...
That would be great. Victoria then speaks again, and Bella is again baffled by her little girl soprano. But then Seth gets kicked in the rocks and they shatter around Bella and she feels like they're losing the fight because Seth's limping, Edward's getting fought. She takes a sharp bit of rock and cuts her arm. And while Victoria and Riley are distracted, Edward and Seth take them down and decapitate them both.
Oof.
Chapter 25.
Decapitating someone without tools?
Not easy.
Not easy, but also horrific.
Yeah. You don't want to go that into it.
No,
you don't like true crime.
It's fucking horrific, though.
Chapter 25. Oh my god! Stink!
The Stinky will not leave the mama alone.
Bella tries to not look at Victoria's decapitated head.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, same. And Edward starts to burn the shit out of them. And this nasty fire sends...
Wait, with what?
He had a lighter. Yeah, they just, like, they're flammable.
What?
I'm gonna keep going.
Are they flammable?
Yeah, pretty much.
What the fuck? That's dumb as shit, Blue. Please tell me that's dumb as shit.
I agree with you.
That they are flammable.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're like little... They're rocks. They're coal.
They're coal? Yeah, I like that. This nasty fire sends clouds of choking purple smoke into the sky.
What the fuck?
And Edward and Seth are like, fuck yeah, brother, we won! And they're like, they're not actually doing this, but it's like they're fist bumping. But he's like a wolf paw comes up. It's like if you taught your dog how to shake.
It's the handshake from Predator, and it's just him in like a wolf paw instead.
Yeah. Edward confronts Bella, and she's like, I'm wounded, and she's like, what? He's like, you don't have to be afraid of me. It's okay. Are you okay, Bella? Are you all right? And she's like, the fuck? I'm not afraid of you. I'm just generally freaking out. You just decapitated somebody in front of me. I saw the head.
What? No head? That's what decapitation is.
That's true. He tells her the others are fine, but that Seth's a little pissed because he was feigning his injury, and now he can't claim that he got Riley all on his own because she helped. Edward also lets her know that they are good to start making their way back to the clearing, and there's no reason to be afraid. And on their way out, Seth spasms and howls with a crazy howl of terror and agony, and Edward falls to his knees with these emotions, but tells her everything's okay.
Yeah, it's chill. We're just both crying, literally. But it's fine.
And Edward's thinking and saying the thoughts of the wolves. We're going to be okay. Sam, help him. And Edward orders Seth to go straight home and doesn't tell Bella what's going on. But he does say that the Volturi have decided that it's time to intercede and they're coming to clean this up. But it'll be okay. Seth was howling because there was just one extra vampire left. Leah was gonna get it, but Jacob got in the vampire way and it grabbed him, and then Bella passes out.
From what?
From hearing that
ass bitch just
from hearing that Jacob
hit the
got
off
hurt.
button.
She's literally such a pussy. It pisses me off. She then wakes up to Edward telling Carlisle that it has been 5 minutes of her passed out.
Way too long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
And Carlisle tries to tell her that Jacob will be okay. He's healing at a super fast rate, but that the Volturi will be there in 3 minutes.
How? They're in Italy.
No, they've been there for a little bit.
Okay.
She sees an extra vampire. She looks like she's 15, and it's a newborn who's going like a little bit insane. But apparently she just like surrendered. She's like, fuck, nope, I surrender.
Yeah, you see a couple people decapitated and that will happen.
Yeah. And Carlisle offered for her to join their group, but Jasper doesn't approve. So he's like sitting over this vampire, like, you're not supposed to do, like wagging his finger
naughty,
like that.
Naughty, naughty.
You should not kill humans. Do not attack Bella. And Jasper's like rubbing his arms. He has like a few bites on his arms, but apparently venom is the only thing that stings them.
Mm.
So this girl is having trouble not wanting to kill and eat Bella.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And Carlisle's like, you have to control, otherwise we will destroy you. He's like, I don't want to, but we will.
I'll rip your fucking head off right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I'll rip your fucking head off.
I'll fucking kill you. Bella wants to like physically move away to help this girl. She's like, I don't want her to be teased, I guess.
Yeah, get her head ripped off. Mm-hmm.
But Edward's like, we can't leave. Like, the Volturi are coming. They're right over there. And then they come out. And Bella recognizes Jane and Felix. But there's another 3 she's not totally sure of. And Jane is confused when she gets there. She's like, who's this girl? And Carlisle's like, blah, blah, blah. And Jane's like, it doesn't matter what you think. Like, she'll have to die.
Who?
And the other girl there.
Oh.
Her name is Bree. Jane then asks questions about what happened and confirms the story with Bree, who says that Riley created them, but he knew their thoughts weren't safe, so they couldn't know anything. And then James smiles. She's amazed. Like, how did the Cullens survive this magnitude of attack? That's crazy.
We'll have to come in bigger force next time.
Literally, because like Edward can tell that the Volturi knew about this and were okay because they wanted the Cullens to maybe lose a few members.
Yeah.
But then Jane and the Volturi end up killing the girl and leaving. And that's kind of the end of that.
Jeez.
Then it's chapter 26.
Did they burn them?
They did, yes.
Okay. Burn those hoes.
Burn those poor small children that got turned into vampires.
After you do some terrorism, you're not really a small child anymore.
They didn't want to do the terrorism.
They did it, though.
Chapter 26, she's back at the Cullens, and Alice is like doing like regular shit.
If you think about it, how many people do you think they've killed?
Those kids?
Yeah.
There's 21 of them, and they compare them to Gary Ridgway.
Yeah.
The Green River Killer.
Yeah.
So a lot.
Yeah.
At least 48, probably.
It's like, yeah. After some point, you're also irredeemable. Oh, no.
Bella's, like, tired of this stupid sleepover charade, and she wants to go see Jacob after his injuries, but she does have to see Charlie first. Alice says she has to keep up the facade. It's part of being a Cullen, is playing, like, a role like this first and then doing what they want second.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but that's the life she's signing up on to be.
Yeah, and it's fucking true. Like, if you don't want to be hunted down by the government and be tested on for 1,000 years, like...
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Alice gives her some girl time, and Bella's like, I want to know about changing. Like, will I be like the girl in the clearing? And Alice is like, yeah, sometimes like that, like, want to kill people can last up to a year.
Oof.
But,
that's a long time.
And this is, again, that's one of the reasons Bella wants to become a vampire, like, soon. But, like, she also wants to have the sex with Edward before she becomes a vampire, because she doesn't think when she's a newborn she's going to want him that way, same way.
Dude, wait a year, though. Wait a year, though.
It's okay not to bone right away. Apparently not.
If you do the Holy Ghost, You got to consummate the marriage.
Ugh, stop. Alice, Bella's
as have every good Christian.
You're on timeout.
Okay.
Bella asks why she thinks that her powers and Jasper's don't work on Bella, or do work on Bella, but others don't. And basically the conclusion they come to is that Alice and Jasper's talents work on the mind or on the body, but like others work on the mind. And she's safe in there.
And she wants it.
Okay. No, that is the mind versus body.
Okay.
She goes back to Charlie, and he's super worried about Jake because they told him he'd been in a motorcycle accident, and he was there when Jake was there, but he's like, I think he'll be okay. If anybody can curse like him, he'll be fine. He said his friends carried him in, and Dr. Carlisle had said the whole right side of his body is practically broken.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
he got bonked pretty fucking hard, didn't he?
He got grabbed and then squeezed.
Oh.
The one thing fucking Jasper said don't let them do was get their arms around you. Yeah. 2 fucking rules. Don't let them get behind you. Don't let them get their arms around you.
He said, look at my butt. He said, don't grab it.
So Charlie has like some other things to say. He's like having like really weird vibes about this day. He's like, I think Jacob will recover quickly, but this day has been weird. It felt like Billy knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, his piggy intuitions.
Yeah. Well, he felt like Billy, who's Jacob's dad, knew something bad was going to happen to Jake. And then he's like, also about the wolves, like we were on the boat fishing, and out of nowhere we hear like these wolves howls, and immediately Billy goes back to the harbor. And it felt like the wolves were, like, this is Charlie telling Bella, and it feels like the wolves were just like right in the village. But then the howling stopped right out, like it felt like it was right outside the house. But then it wasn't howling, it was somebody like screaming in pain. And then it was Jacob. And Charlie's like, those Quileute kids are pretty fucking big. So at this point, Charlie's like, what the fuck is going on?
Wait, at this point?
Yeah. Literally. Only because of the howling, too.
Oh my god. This has been going on for a year, right?
Pretty much.
A year and a half?
Yeah. Probably closer to a year.
Okay.
Because Sam found Bella in the woods. He was the only member of the pack, I think, or only 2. But Sam's pretty big, too. You know, he's probably close to 6
Ain't no pack one, it's just you.
A loner. Bella's worried, and she's preoccupied and tries to leave, but Charlie's like, I'd like to talk to you first. Bella's trying to go, like, head out to go to Jacob's, but Charlie's like, wait, I want to talk to you real quick. He has a feeling in his heart that he's gonna lose her, and he just wants, like, he's like, can I just have some advance notice if that's gonna happen? I'm like, what the fuck is giving you that feeling? Kind of sick.
Also, is it the everything?
Yeah, true. She goes around to Billy's, where Jacob is there waiting for her, and he is fucked up, and he's, like, way crazy high on morphine.
Nice.
Yeah. They talk about the fight, and Jacobs asks how Edward reacted to their kiss. And she's like, Edward wasn't very mad. Like, and then Jacob's like, fuck, really? Damn, Jacob's clearly a better man than I thought. Fuck. He's like pissed. And Jacob tries to convince Bella that Edward is manipulating her.
Ah.
And then she goes, well, he didn't threaten to kill himself to make me kill me. And Jacob's like, yeah, I guess I did do that. She's mad that... What? Ow.
Blue's getting kitty attacked this episode, so if there's a lot of interruptions or like kissing sounds...
It's because I hate the cats and don't
meows,
love them.
That's what's happening.
So, she is mad that he's not getting mad at her for falling in love with Edward when she also loves him. I don't really know, but he says he will be her friend. And she's like, I really don't think that's a good idea because we feel like differently.
Because you're kind of an asshole when we try to be friends.
But he suggests a long distance friendship. And then he brings up the King Solomon story from the Bible with the baby. And he's like, I'm not going to cut you in half anymore. Therefore, I love you more. I'm
going to rip that fucking baby in half, though.
Also, she's not a baby. They come to a strange, super unhealthy compromise, and he talks about the wedding, and he says he'll still be her friend till her heart stops beating, and maybe even after. And it's like, well, you're not really friends.
Yeah. You're kind of an asshole, really. You're kind of like a horrible person.
Yeah. Chapter 25.
This is the last one?
Yeah. 27 is what I meant. Yes.
Yahoo!
She leaves crying, and she has to pull over because she's crying so hard, and Edward comes around and gets in the car with her. She sees Charlie after she's done crying, and she clearly looks it, and this pisses me off about Charlie. She's like, yeah, we had to talk about some hard things. And Charlie's like, well, I hope that didn't mess up his recovery.
What?
Why did she spit on Jacob and Charlie?
What?
Steph. Like her character writing for the two of them.
Yeah. Like, why?
So.
Why Steph did all the bad choices?
I don't know. She does some thinking and decides that she's done some damage and decides she never wants to let Edward see her shed another tear for Jacob Black.
That's a lot of damage.
Edward is worried when she wakes up the next day that Bruno, now it's not the time, baby.
We're having serious kitty cat issues this episode.
Come here, you little bastard.
And I don't know if I want to edit it all out because I'm kind of lazy, but
what about this?
Maybe if Blue edits this episode, we won't have so many kitty issues.
I want him to tell the story.
Yeah.
Edward is worried when she wakes up the next day that she may have made the wrong choice, but she's like, no, I feel really confident and I'm good.
We're having another kitty issue.
Are you done?
Absolutely not.
She then asks to see Alice, and when they come to the Cullen house, Alice obviously already knows what's going on. Bella asks her to plan the wedding, and she has until August 13th. And Bella's like, if you go too overboard, I will never speak to you again. And Alice is like, do you want to see the dress? And Bella's like, what do you mean? She's like, I already had it picked out. The designer waiting list is crazy long. I did design a little bit of herself. It's classic style, 1918. So it's very weird. But Alice is ecstatic to plan the wedding. And at the end of this chapter, there's still the epilogue. Edward and Bella decide to go to the meadow.
So you lied to me.
No, I didn't, babe. You should know there's an epilogue.
You lied. It's fine.
Edward's like, why are you deciding this now? And she's like, I'm doing it for Charlie, my family, everybody deserves this. Charlie should be able to walk me down the aisle. It'll all feel more settled for everyone when I eventually end up dying. Edward gets kind of peeved because he's like, you're doing this for everyone else. Let's have sex now.
Also,
we don't have to do things this way.
Also, couldn't she just be like, yeah, we're going on our honeymoon. Peace out.
She comes back looking different.
Yeah, but
and her eyes are fucking red.
Yeah.
But
I got the flu.
Achoo. My eyes are red because of the flu, sorry.
Sorry, my skin is completely white because of the flu. Achoo.
But yeah. Edward's like, we don't have to do things this way. Like, we don't have to get married. I'll have sex with you now. I want you to do things the way you want. And she's like, this is the way I want. I want things to be in the right order.
Lord would want.
I want to tie myself to Edward in all the human ways possible before I ask you to make me immortal. And then they decide it's time to tell Charlie.
Charlie.
And then it's the epilogue from Jacob's perspective, though. He's on the hill by the cliffs, and Leah's there begging Jacob to get over the relationship with Bella because her and the whole pack are dreaming about her because he thinks about her so much. He says something crazy fucking mean to her about Sam and Emily, and she spits toward him and leaves.
Good. That's what he deserves.
Yeah. Jacob is on the cliff throwing a fit because what if Edward died from Bella? Will he be able to kill Edward? What if she lived? He's going through all this, and then he goes home, and Billy is talking about everything, and then points to the wedding invitation. Edward has put a note in there for him specifically, and Edward wrote that he did not have to come, but he wanted him to have the choice. He's pissed and runs out of the house in his wolf form, where all his bros can hear him and are sorry for him. They want to comfort him, but Sam's like, no, leave him alone. Come home. Jacob, be safe. Come home whenever you can. And then Jacob runs off, and he decides he's going to be a wolf, and Jacob Black will disappear.
Cool.
That's the end of that book. We finished it.
How many parts did we get for that book?
5.
5 parts?
What's your favorite
God
part?
Damn.
What was your favorite bit of that book? Tell me one thing that didn't happen in this section of book.
Shit.
You're the other member of this podcast.
haven't listened to it. I'm on it.
You listen to me tell you the things. Oh my goodness. If you have enjoyed us, thank you for being here. Follow us on Twitter at Reading Hostage, and I'm trying to be a little bit more active on Instagram.
Yes.
I don't like Instagram, but I'm trying. I don't remember our Instagram tag, but we're there. I think it's at Reading Held Hostage.
It'll be in the description.
Yeah. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube.
Ring that freaking bell.
And hit that freaking subscribe button.
And like the gosh dang videos.
Please and thank you. Shoot us over an email if you have something you want us to read. And give us a freaking review, please and thank you. My dad said you have to. My dad said you have to or he'll kick you off of Minecraft.
Oh no.
You're not gonna get any more Chug Splash from what's it? From Fortnite.
Okay. Blue's doing this bit by herself.
No. My dad owns Fortnite, okay? He'll kick you off if you don't give Read Hell Hostage a review.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening. My name's Blue, and I love to read.
Oh, the podcast is over. Oh,
your name is?
My name is Justin.
And we'll see you next week.
I don't like to read.
You don't. And we'll see you next week. What's that mean? Bathroom again? Son of a bitch, babe.